Hello everyone, I am Randy Suarez, aka Silva Crow, sitting back here with another amazing reaction. This time we're back with some more Josh Johnson, $1 billion lottery, the price of the American dream. I guess the lottery, billion, whatever, it changed to like the maximum, I guess. I'm not sure. I don't keep up with stuff like that. So this is new for me. So if you like any of this content, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Like, comment, and subscribe to Josh Johnson. I will leave the original link to this video down below so you watch it uninterrupted. Also, the link to the Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Follow me on those social platforms. Also, link to the Discord. Come join in the crow's nest. Talk amongst yourself. Have a jolly good time. Also, link to the Cashapp for Grace to donate. Whatever you want to donate, it's fine. Don't. That's fine as well. So they do things, but by donating, like, comment, subscribe, sharing, all that good stuff. However you show your support, let's know you rock the direction content. Rock with the channel and rock with your boy. But further ado, buckle up and let's get started. Alright, we here with some more Josh Johnson. You already know the title of the video. Plus, it's pushing towards an hour, so this is gonna be a long video, so let's go.
Where the lottery, at least at the time that I'm speaking, has worked its way up to $1.8 billion. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
It's so much you wonder, should I?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey man, you have a literally as point chance of winning. And I don't like those odds.
How they get you.
That's how they get you.
You know, growing up my entire life, I knew people who played the lottery, and I don't know if I know any winners. I just know a few people went missing.
Oh, wow. Well, yeah.
And like hard missing too, not even a funeral. Like
existence wiped out.
$1.8 billion. That means even after they tax you, tax is gonna take about half of that, right? Even after they tax you, you're probably gonna be
still a billionaire.
A billionaire. That instantly, a billionaire. And I'm not saying this to like, you know, beat down on anybody or be disparaging, but it's like, who plays the lottery? People who need the money. So imagine needing money and then becoming a billionaire in like a day. A day. You needed 252.
252.
You needed 252. You had rent and a car note, and now you're a billionaire. A billionaire. You gotta capitalize the B. It's $1 billion. Even if they get you real good, even if they tax you to death, you're still high millionaire. And with some good investments, you'll hit billionaire over time. Look at. I don't think y'all understand. This is the thing, we think we understand what billion is because billionaires keep playing in our faces. But we have no comprehension of how much money that is because we're people.
Yeah, we're people, normal people.
Forget like multiple, a billion. You can't even waste that, $1 billion. You can imagine. Oh, I had some bad investments. $1 billion's worth of bad investments? That's enough to topple a small country. No, because I look at the billionaires of the world and the high millionaires, so almost billionaires of the world. And in a couple of the examples that I'm thinking of, right? If you make it to billionaire status, whether it's through valuation of your country or your company, or
I see what he did there. That's clever.
Whether it's through valuation of your company or just general assets and everything over time, if you hit that billion status and you didn't grow up with a ton of money, like if you're already a billionaire, it almost doesn't count. You know, you'll see billionaires, they're the sons of billionaires, and they'll be like, I made my own thing. It's like, you didn't though.
You didn't though.
But you didn't. Like you never really
struggle.
Did anything. Like it's and look, I know you probably worked really hard, but your hard work had a $1 billion head start to it. So it's just, you know, you could make a bad idea worth $1 billion. If you put enough money behind it with enough time. Look at Crocs.
Yeah. And here's the thing. As a person who does not like Crocs and don't wear Crocs out, same thing, hey man, make your money. People like them. I'm just not the one. It wasn't for me, but it was for a lot of people.
And look, that's not me. No, look, that's not me just dunking on Crocs for the sake of it. I'm saying as a shoe, you are so unprepared to go into the world. Every time it rains, you kind of feel it. I've had so many fights with my friends over Crocs, and it's not about the Croc or the design or whatever. It's about the fact that it's a Swiss cheese shoe.
It is.
The holes make it a shoe problem. It is not like okay. I live in New York, and we have far too many. I don't even know the number. We have more, I believe, rats than people. I'm pretty sure there's probably 10 million for every 2 people in New York. And one time I was walking with my friend who had Crocs on. Ill-advised, especially in New York. If you want to wear Crocs in, like, I don't know, like a beachy town, go ahead. Be comfortable. Let your feet breathe. Wearing Crocs in New York City, wearing Crocs in New York City is like wearing a shirt that on the front and the back says, "Please rob me."
In a way, yeah.
That's the level of prepared you are to go out into New York City when you're in Crocs. My friend was in Crocs, and we were just walking down the street, okay? Just nice little stroll, having a conversation. And then, as you would expect when you are walking in New York, as it is almost law when you are walking in New York, a rat ran across our path. Some people have to deal with deers in the road. We have to deal with rats on the street. And this rat running across our path judged it wrong. Was a little late. You know, usually when you're walking in New York, a rat will run across you real fast up ahead. This rat must have had some hesitation. You could tell this rat was like, okay. You know what? I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. No. I'm not gonna do it. Actually, no. You know what? I can do this. Let me get. Ah! And then it ran across our path. But by the time it ran across our path, we were at our path.
Oh, wow.
And this is upsetting. Sorry if you're eating.
Sorry if you're eating.
But the rat ran across our path. But by the time it decided to cross the sidewalk, we were already there. So this rat ran right over both my feet.
Ew.
And then it came time to run over my friend's feet. My friend in Crocs. And this rat looked exactly like, you know, with football players doing that spring training with the tires over here. The rat was nimble at first. It got through 2 holes, no problem. Third hole, rat tripped. Animals don't trip like people. You know what I mean?
Nah, they don't.
People might trip, be a little embarrassed, but we get up and we know we have a day to continue. If a rat gets tripped up in your crock, that's the rat's whole priority right now. Because to be fair to rats, they get trapped all the time. How is this rat supposed to know this isn't one of those rat traps that take you to rat heaven? And so this rat starts freaking out, starts like trying to pull the other leg out and everything, but then the next leg gets stuck. And so now this rat is, it has been 0.0 seconds, by the way. This rat has already tripped and is stuck in 2 crock holes. And is over here fighting for his life to get out. Is doing whatever he can. This rat over here, And look, I'll be honest with you right now, I don't even know if I imagined it, but I swear I heard it. I heard where the rat got free because I heard the little pull the little foot out of the crock hole and then ran away. And then my friend who had just been defending his Crocs had the nerve to be like,
I knew it. It's on my feet.
I'm like, yeah, cut it off. You need to cut it off. Ran over my foot too, but look at me. Intact. And so you have even if it's not the company, the CEOs of these companies reach high $1 million billionaire status. You know? And it happens usually over time. Usually, if you don't come from money, you reach billionaire status or high millionaire 20, 30 years of your life. And being a psycho as well, like working 80-hour weeks and like just doing crazy stuff. And sometimes you get to get ahead because you cut some corners or you cheat some people or whatever it is. But then when you turn around and you have this like multi-billion-dollar valuation, you did it. And it took all that time, but like you're 30 years removed from when you started. These billionaires, these millionaires, the ones that don't come from like extreme wealth, takes 20, 30 years of your life to get that money. And look how evil they are. I can only imagine.
But here's the thing, I will say this. You'd be surprised. Some of them aren't that evil, but at the same time, you never know.
I can only imagine what happens if you get it in a day. Look. For any amount of lottery winnings and for any amount of like money, when you dream about money, that's what we do. Someone's like, what would you do with $100 million? And you might even have a list already. What would you do? And you think you know what you would do. And I'm not even saying that people are lying when they say these things. I believe that people really believe this is what they would do with the money. But then you're a billionaire in a day. Nothing can prepare you for that. Nothing can prepare you for that much money being that much power in a day. I don't know, like, I know what I'd like to think I would do with that much money. Because the amount of money that you've been living on is the amount of money you need to live. Like that, like, I know that in the US, like in America, that's like blasphemous to say. But it's like, even when I was broke, the amount of money that I had, which was not enough, was somehow still enough because I'm not dead. You know what I mean? And so obviously people need to get by. People deserve a higher quality of life and everything. I'm not saying this to say that if you're barely scraping by, that's all you need and be done with it. I'm just saying that sometimes you can get in your head, especially when you get a little more, that you need a bit more, and then you need a bit more, and then you need a bit more, to the point where people around the country who make six figures say they don't feel rich, right? And some of them making the high six figures. They've done studies about this and about why your brain never turns to rich when it's you and it's over time. You'll see millionaires say, well, I'm comfortable, but I'm not like rich. And then you're glad that it's through a screen, or else you might.
He might choke them. Hey, had this conversation with my fiance. I mean, yeah, he has a point. He may have
But I don't know. I mean, what would that do to a person? A day, a billionaire. Who knows? Maybe money really does change people in a way that you can't even fathom until you have that much money. Maybe you get $1 billion in a day, and out of nowhere, you don't even recognize yourself. $1 billion. And you're just like, wow, huh. I could use some slaves. I think that...
I could use some slaves.
Look, I don't know what makes you so evil as a billionaire over 30 years, but I can only imagine it's exacerbated when it's overnight. Like, I can only imagine it becomes instant when you get the money instantly. That's crazy. Because, look, we all have a list. Even if you act like you don't, you do. If you want that much money overnight, you might have a list. There might only be 5 things on your list. Hey, I want to take care of my friends, take care of my family, want to travel, and I want to help in a way that I've been helping, but I didn't have the money to really push the help, right? So that's what, 4, maybe you have 5 things. But then, after you do all that, maybe you have some money left over. What do you do with that money? Can you make another list? Can you make a bigger list? Maybe. But if you can't, you just keep trying. Oh, you know, let's fix the roads. Let's try to fix the school system. Let's try to... But then there's still some money left over. What do? I think you might lose your mind. That's probably why billionaires are like that. Because think about it. Look, their list didn't have any of the stuff I mentioned on it. But like it... But even though it didn't, it clearly had things that they cared about, whatever those were. And maybe they were only related to their company. Maybe they were only related to more business and getting more money. But even as those things got checked off and you tried to keep up with the list, you tried to make more goals and you were meeting the goals as fast as you were making the goals and everything. And then everyone around you is a yes man because they want some access to that money because they're also trying to climb, right?
Yep.
And then you finally have gone down the list so hard that you're just like, maybe Mars?
Now he's talking about Jeff Bezos. Yeah.
What about Mars? Mars would be cool, right? Like, Mars would be dope. Does people starve? Mars, though, that would be dope. And it's like, yes, it sounds dope. And I hope he goes. I hope he does. Like, that'd be fire. If he went to Mars. No, spend your fortune as the richest man in the world to be the poorest man in the universe. Because I guarantee you spend your whole life and then you finally, let's say it finally happens, you have a voyage to Mars. And let's be as generous as possible. And let's say that like the rocket works, you already sent enough stuff there that it's not like quite the movie The Martian, but it is like that because you are gonna be by yourself. You know? No, I'm just, probably. And then you land in Mars, richest man in the world. lands on Mars, gets out, is walking around and realizes that Mars is just like Arizona with some extra tent to it. Like
Arizona with some extra
looking
tent
around
to it.
like, oh, okay. Whoops.
I might.
No, because money is. We'd like to think that it's more than this, and sometimes it is. You can point to points in history where it is more than this, but like America is money. You know, land of opportunity. Opportunity is access, but it's also money. Money is how we define identity. Maybe you don't as a person. Maybe, I don't believe any one person is just their job or their net worth. There are things that you are that are deeper than all that stuff that's going to pass away. But that is how we as Americans define each other, is money. In fact, when you get your identity stolen, it's because they mess with the money. I don't know of anyone who said they got their identity stolen and it was in a Lifetime movie sort of way. I have yet to meet anybody who said they got their identity stolen and they know it was stolen because they came home and there was a dude who looked just like them hugging their wife. And they were like, honey, it's me. And then she was like, And then the imposter was like, don't listen to him, honey. It's me. Can't you tell? And like, hey, what are you doing in my house? And then the kids run in, and they run up to him. Hey, Dad, who's this stranger? What? Kids, it's me. And they're like, we don't know you. Our dad's been home all day. And then you have to fight with this dude, and then, there's somehow a gun in the house that nobody knew about, and then y'all struggle, and then y'all are spinning, so then nobody knows anymore because y'all were wearing the same thing. Who's the real husband? Who's the fake husband? And you're over, you're just running around, grabbing the gun, knocking the gun out of each other's hands, and then, there's some bounty commercials in the middle because this is a Lifetime movie. But then you pick up the gun and you're like, get out of my home, stay away from my family, right? And then the imposter goes, and then runs up to you and y'all hug one last time. The gun goes off and nobody can tell who was shot until what is it? Until the Nair commercial. Like Nair, that one, like... I've watched a lot of Lifetime with my mom and my aunt. And so then they come back from commercial and y'all are both backing up and you're like, somehow in a movie, whenever somebody has been shot and someone shot someone, they both react the same. I always find that very annoying. The person that pulled the trigger is like, but then the person who was shot is like, And then y'all back up. The gun falls. It falls in the middle. We don't need any more. One of you was shot. And everybody's backing up, and then you see some blood. You see blood, and then you see blood because y'all were hugging when it happened. So whoever got shot also bled on the other person. So it's been about 5 minutes, and we still don't know who was shot. Very frustrating. And then finally, one of you goes, you'll always be my family. And the other one turns around and looks at you. And the wife and the kids go, Dad! And hug them. Then credits start rolling. The picture gets a little bit smaller because they got to roll the next movie right next to the other movie. So it's like it gets that little half-size thing where the credits are rolling, which actually sort of ruins the end of the movie in case there was any other note of anything that the director wanted. But anyway, and through the credits, through the little tiny half screen, you see the person hugging the family look up at the camera and go, An identity is never stolen that way. It's always stolen in relation to your bank account. No, because that's who you are. That's who you are to the bank, and that's who you are to any business entity is your money and the number that you are. You know? Now, look, I would like to think that everybody knows that everyone's more than that, but that is how you break down. That's how you're calculated.
Yes,
you know what I mean? You're moved around as a number, and the numbers that make up the numbers you have are how people see you. You know, so when you get your identity stolen, it's not because they actually stole who you are. They stole who you are in a version of how people see you for your money. Having your identity stolen is terrifying because you don't know when you'll get out from under this. It's you. It's you. But the bank doesn't know that. You might as well
be numbers.
Show up to the bank like you just got home to see your wife and kids, and there is an imposter next to the bank teller's booth right with you. Y'all might as well be shoulder to shoulder. Like, no, I'd like to make a deposit. No, I'd like to make a deposit. Because you also have to factor in what that money doesn't just do to the person, what it does to the people around them. Some of y'all may not remember this. I barely remember.
Here's the thing. When it comes to winning the lottery and money in general, it changes a lot of people. And it may not change the person who has, and here's the thing, it flips. It changes the person sometimes to one with the money, but it changes the people who's around that person with the money due to the fact that they bring up the past. So, I remember people who come out of the woodworks. You don't know nothing about these people, and there you are, literally wondering, who are you? Like, they're asking for loans, not loans, just borrow, give, and this and that. And I'm like, I don't know who you are. And people like it gets to the point that there are some people who actually sue that, like relatives sue the person who won the lottery for like money, and somehow trying to, and it's shock Pikachu face when they either fail or surprisingly when they actually won, to give them something. It's weird.
Until I started just reading about people who had won the lottery and what usually happens, because there's this myth that everyone that wins the lottery goes bankrupt and ruins their life. It's not actually true. It's about half, which are better odds than winning the lottery. And the difference between the people who crash out and the people who do well are the decisions they make as soon as they win. And now it's almost down to a science. There are people who are financial advisors that seek out lottery winners to help them because they've done it for other lottery winners and stuff. But there was this one woman, it was crazy. This happened in the 90s. I think it was 1990, right? This woman was a server, and she got tipped a lottery ticket. And so she, put that lottery ticket in, and she won. She won $10 million. And then everyone around her turned. Mm-hmm.
See, and here's the thing. This is one thing that I probably will say this, and I can go on record for saying it. If I come with a lot of money, I ain't saying shit. I ain't saying nothing. Because the reason why, there's certain states you have to announce it. Luckily, I live in a state that you don't have to. I'm keeping my mouth shut because at the end of the day, it's none of nobody else's business. Leave me the fuck alone.
The people who were also on shift with her, they tried to sue her. Because I don't know if this is one of those restaurants where, sometimes you work as a server and everyone's tips are pooled together and then you split them at the end of the night. Or if it was just that they were saying that was their table. I don't know what all the lawsuits were, but I also know that the man who tipped her the ticket tried to sue her.
Which is contradicting because you're the one who gave it to her. and yet you feel entitled for it. It's a gift now. You don't. At that point.
Her ex-husband even kidnapped her, and she had to shoot him in the chest. The chest is one of the wildest places to get shot. Because there's still some plausible deniability there, but you know where you were aiming.
No, because...
And then the IRS came for her, you know? Walls closing in all around money. Because people will do crazy things for money, and people will let the idea of money shape how they treat a person, you know? Money is only second to people in the idea of something that's in front of you that means a bunch of different things. People can mean the whole range of emotions to you, but so can money. If someone won $10 million, if they won $1.8 billion, some people see that as money, but a lot of people see that as hope. They see it as power. They see it as like a salvation out of their problems. They see it as whatever your imagination can mold. Because there are some people that if you got given $1 billion right now outright, there's so much good you do with it. And then there are other people that if you got $1 billion tonight, you'd be like, oh, I have some things to revisit.
Definitely.
Now, $1 billion. $1 billion means, you know, you could buy everything around a person. You could buy everything around. Imagine for $1 billion, you could hire a private investigator to find your high school bully. All right. Because let's say they're not on, you know, maybe they're not on social, not everybody is, and so you hire this private investigator to find your high school bully, and maybe this bully gave you like a really catchy, mean nickname, you know? Maybe it was something that happened to you, something real bad. Maybe you got sick at school one day, and maybe you didn't make it to the bathroom, right? And so he called you Wet Willie for 4 years, right?
Wow!
In this scenario, your name is Willie, and you hire this private investigator to track him down. Maybe his name's Travis, right? You like, find me Travis. And so then the private investigator says, hey, I found Travis. He's living in Connecticut, and
random.
He's married, and yeah, looks like they're pretty happy. And you're like, okay, this is good to know. And so, with your money, you buy the house that's for sale next to Travis. You're moving in one day, and you know Travis and his wife are walking in to their home, and you're moving one of the boxes. Nothing in the box. You don't need to move. You can pay people to move for you, but and you're like, oh, hey.
Money to be petty is funny to me sometimes.
Travis? And he's like, oh, Willie, Will, wow, how have you been? Wow, this is crazy. Are you? Yeah, I'm moving in right next to you. That's crazy. That's crazy. He's like, yeah, that is, wow. This house has been on sale for months, and now what a coincidence. And you're like, yeah, a coincidence.
Yeah. Hey, man, sometimes if you have enough time for money to be petty, sometimes just create your own entertainment. I'd probably say do it, to be honest, because there's sometimes karma taking too long, and you want your get back. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. And you see that not only do you have this nice house in front of you, but, ooh, Travis has a phenomenal house, you know? There's an HOA, so they're pretty similar, but overall, very big and very nice, you know? And right right then, Travis's wife walks up, Susie. Susie walks up, and she's like, "Hey, babe." And then he's like, "Hey, what? Me and William went to high school together. This is my wife, Susie." And you're like, "Oh, hi, nice to meet you." You shake her hand, and you're like, "Wow, this is crazy to just, you move to a new place and you don't know. Usually you don't know anybody, and now I got pals right next door." And Travis is like, "Yeah, this is wild, man. You should come over for dinner sometime. Come over for dinner." And you're like, "Oh, wow, how's tonight?"
How's tonight? Oh no. Oh no.
And Travis, because this is the thing about bullying. A lot of bullies don't remember what they did. And even if they remember what they did, they remember it in the context of whatever they were going through. And so even if they were like a mean kid, they just remember being a mean kid because other stuff was happening. I don't know how often real bullies think about the fallout of their bullying and what it might have done to somebody present day, So maybe Travis is perfectly...
You'd be surprised. A lot of the bullies sometimes don't think about that. They think about how it makes them feel, and either they forget what's been going on in their part of their life, or they're just doing it because they actually enjoy the feeling. It's weird.
Pleasant, easy to believe. It's been a long time, And so he's like, "Yeah, I think. No. Okay, we do have a little date night tonight, but how about tomorrow? Tomorrow night, we should have dinner. You just come over to our place. We'll cook for you." And you're like, "Wow, yeah, Travis, it sounds great. All right, I'll see y'all later." You take your empty box. Walk into your new house with no furniture in it. But you don't need furniture. You're here for revenge.
Furniture, revenge? Nah, furniture is my revenge.
The type of revenge that only money can buy.
Facts. It's weird, but facts.
You're so excited, you don't even know if you can sleep, and so you lay on the floor of your brand new house. Because hate makes you comfortable.
First of all, yeah, it does, but hate makes you comfortable.
And then the next day comes, right? The next day comes, and you've had a private investigator on Travis for a while. You even had a private investigator on Susie. You already know her name. And so the next day, during the day, you go over to Susie's workplace. Susie works at a salon, right? And so you go over and you're like, "Hey, what?
What a coinky dink.
This is crazy. Wow. Susie, neighbors, and then I need a haircut? You do hair? Wow." You get Susie to give you a haircut, and when you're getting a haircut, when you're getting the wash, the shampoo, the conditioner, and everything, there's time to talk. You get to know a person. Or pretend to, because you already hired a private investigator. So you land in the sink and y'all are chatting it up, and you're a personable enough individual, so y'all are cackling back and forth. And then at the end, Susie puts the mirror in front of your face, and you're like, "Wow, a magician. Truly incredible. Thank you so much." And then you go to pay, and then you put a $10,000 tip
Like, bam!
on your haircut. Susie's floored. What? "I can't accept this." "You absolutely can. I haven't felt this good in years. You made me look like a new man."
No.
In fact, I don't know, I'm sorry, I never do this, but are you doing anything after work? And Susie's like, yeah, the dinner that we have. And you're like, oh, yeah, that's right. But, okay, what? I don't know, it looks like salon's closing up and everything. Dinner wasn't gonna be for a little while. I don't know, do you want to hang out for a little bit? We're gonna end up chatting anyway. Let's just chat. Let's just have a chat, and then, we'll head over to your place. You're like, does that sound okay? And she's like, yeah, I guess so. It's fine. I'll close up here. And then you're like, okay, yeah, hop in my car, right? And she hops in your car. It's very nice. It's ridiculous. It's whatever car is nice for the period we're in. So just imagine.
Yeah, we're imagining it.
Imagine the type of car, and it is that. And Susie's also impressed. She's like, wow, okay, you must have done very well for yourself. And you're like, yeah, I do all right. Because no matter what car it is, I assume it goes fast, right? And then he's like, actually, I know I'm new to the neighborhood and everything, but can I show you something? And she's like, yeah, sure, okay. And you drive. You end up driving to this like little patch of land that's off by the wayside, and there's a small little airfield there, and you park, and Susie's like, what is this? And you're like, oh yeah, I got a call, it was a text while you were doing my hair and everything, and there's just something I have to check out over here, so let's just walk through. And you walk through this little air hangar, and it's to your private jet. And she's like, wow, you have a jet? And you're like, yeah, I do. I mean, I guess it's a false alarm. There's nobody that needed anything. Yeah, nobody's even here. I tell you what. How about this?
Come into the jet.
I know we're supposed to have dinner tonight at your place, but why don't we go to Paris? She's like, Paris? You're like, oh, I'm sorry, do you prefer Milan? We can go to Milan. What are you even saying right now? I'm like, oh, no, I'm just saying, we're supposed to get dinner. Let's have dinner. We gotta have dinner without Travis.
Dinner without Travis. Which is wild.
And then she's like, oh. I don't know what to say. What is the tip? And then now he's invited. I'm married. No, I know. I don't know. Now? Yeah, now. Actually, you know what? And then the stairs.
Which would be like, he did that and did that.
Wow, my heart is just skipping a beat. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go. Great. And so then you both hop on the jet and taxi, everything. And just before takeoff, you send Travis an audio message of the entire thing. You add a little something at the end. You're like, this is from Wet Willie. Because now you have $1 billion and you could be good or you could... Because that is how how bad things are now. We used to make fun of people that play the lottery, and now it seems like a sound fiscal decision. It sounds like a sound business plan to save a little money, put a little away, and buy some lottery tickets. It's either buy some lottery tickets or, lean in front of a BMW. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta lean in front of a BMW, coming at about, I don't know, slowing down, so hopefully about 12 miles per hour. You know what I mean? Enough to do some damage, but not quite kill you. You know what I mean? Like when you get hit, it's gonna make that sound. You're gonna hear some stuff. Some of that stuff's gonna be you, and some of it's gonna be the car. You might even lose consciousness for a second, but you will, hopefully wake up and. There's some real technique to it too. I don't know if you saw that video. There's a dude who you could tell he was too. You could tell he was too nervous. He shouldn't have done this, and not just because it's fraud. He shouldn't have done this.
Just because it's fraud.
Because you could tell his heart wasn't in the grift. You know what I mean? His heart wasn't in it. Like some people, the grift is who they are. They buy into the grift completely. When I was a little kid, my elementary school teacher got into a fender bender, right? And got in a fender bender with this dude and bumped him just enough to get a little bit of separation, but you could tell that she had hit him, and he immediately got out of his car, went into the trunk, pulled out a neck brace, and laid on the ground, right?
Oh, my neck!
Which, if you're gonna do that, just wear the neck brace the whole time. Then you'll even convince the person that, I'm not gonna tell you how to grift, but so if you're gonna do this, you gotta commit. You gotta know long before this BMW takes that turn at the intersection that this is what you're committed to do. And there's a video of this dude. This still cracks me up, right? Okay, so this dude is over here, and you can tell. He wants to jump in front of the car. Maybe he has the whole insurance scam planned out and everything, can sue, whatever. You just gotta let a BMW hit you and hope it's not a rental. Yeah, it is.
If it's a rental, oh Lord.
Oh, nothing would make you madder than getting hit by a broke person. And so then, it's over here. Waiting, right? And like just from the CCTV, because this is how I watched it, right? Just from the CCTV and the clip, you can tell that there's some nervousness in the knees. Like the knees don't scream commitment. You know what I mean? Like they're not, his feet aren't amped to do it. They're not like hoppy feet. You know what I mean? Like this is like, ooh, I'm gonna do some fraud. Ooh, you about to get defrauded. Right? But he had more of a, oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right. And you could tell he was thinking too much about how he was gonna land. That's the problem. Because you gotta know if you're gonna jump in front of a car, you gotta know, okay, am I gonna be mostly grill or mostly windshield? All right? Both have their drawbacks. All right? Now, grill will push you forward. It'll push you forward an amount that will make you look dead to a bystander. So that is a good way to go if you're trying to do this with witnesses and witnesses who are not in cahoots with you, right? Windshield is very dramatic, right? Windshield is very theatrical. Usually when you see, they do a lot of windshields on like Law and Order SVU. That's usually, like when somebody running from the cops and they can't seem to catch them. They give them just enough room for them to run out of the street. For the cop who didn't feel like running to hit them with the cop car. It's always very convenient when it's like 3 cops and then 2 of them run after a suspect and then one of them is like, oh, All right. And then sure enough, they're always there at the right time to just bow, right? Now, if you're gonna go windshield, just know that some glass could crack, okay? And it's worse if it doesn't. If the glass doesn't crack at all, you got hit by a big bullet, okay? But if the glass cracks and you roll over the glass and maybe you land on the side of the car, that also looks very bad. But depending on how you hit the windshield depends on how believable the hit is. Because when you get hit by the grill, you're just taking the hit, right? Just boom, boom. High risk of being hurt. Very high risk. Windshield looks a little bit more, oh no!
What happened here?
Ooh, you got me. Oh, what will I do, right? Because you can't really control your body as it gets hit and it's on the windshield. So you hope you go over the windshield. That looks like a very bad hit. But if you stay on the windshield, it starts to look like your fault even if it wasn't. Like it's just, the optics aren't great. And if you slide off to the front, it looks like you didn't get hit fast at all. And so you see this dude, okay, whew, all right. And then he goes for it. But not only did I see him in the clip, in the CCTV video, you know, like thinking about it too hard.
Like the rat situation.
The person in the BMW also saw him thinking about this very hard. And it didn't help that he chose to do this at an intersection, which means they were going to be slowing down anyway. And so then he finally goes to jump into the street, and they've already come to a short stop because they saw him coming. But look, he's already put a lot of thought into this. He will not be denied. And so even though the car is almost at a full stop, he goes, obviously the claim didn't go far. But you could do that, or you could play the lottery. You know what I mean? Because I really do hope that the person or the people that win, like have a good life and do something well with it. There's so many scams now. Sometimes if the person's identity is known, that's actually what like ruins their life, because then there are scammers who will never meet this person, don't know this person, but then they will masquerade as them online, hitting up people around this person trying to get whatever private information so they can scam that other person, not even the lottery winner, you know? And it's why people have become more savvy. Now you have lottery winners all over the world, not just in the US, and not just for like the Powerball, Mega Millions or any of that. Now you have lottery winners in the US show up with like a ski mask on. So many lottery winners look like they're there to rob the lottery.
Hey, there was one that literally dressed as Ghostface. Like dead ass. Like, I mean, the point that was smart. Voice modulator and everything.
You know, and I don't know, I just look at the lottery as like maybe one of the best metaphors we have for how America is. You know, because you know, we all participate. That money is pooled together, and it is, and I don't mean in terms of ownership, I just mean in terms of how the money came to be there. It is all of our money. It is all of our money pooled together for 1 to like 6 people to have.
And some do split it out throughout the year.
In fact, sometimes you'll watch the lottery. You'll watch someone win, and you'll be like, huh, wow, I worked at a company like that. That's crazy. Because some of what the lottery trying to make it in America is like is luck. We like to think it's hard work, because then that means everybody could do it.
But it's not.
But it's not actually the case.
No.
I know people who have worked hard my entire life, and they were on a hamster wheel. They were on a treadmill, and they were just trying to keep up because somebody was pressing the speed up on the hamster wheel. That's what it feels like is happening to everybody right now. You know, you're doing your best, and the speed just keeps... And then, you know, some people are on a treadmill where the speed just keeps getting increased. Some people, look, to their credit, they have some golden handcuffs. Maybe they're doing a little bit better than everybody, but the margins that they live in are just as thin. And so they're on like a Stairmaster. They're up higher than the people on the treadmill, but, you know, they still run the risk of falling off at any given point. And so the other person's running as hard as they can. This person's stepping as high and as fast as they can. Because if they can skip a step, it's not going to keep them good forever, but it'll keep them level for a while. And so everybody's working as hard as they can. People who make six figures are still thinking, I don't really have enough to get by. That sounds crazy to anybody who's living off of less than 50K, somewhere where the standard of living, you need to be at like 80K. There are people scraping to get by. And so rather than just accepting that this gym sucks,
because it does,
people just keep going as hard as they can until, you know, until they either their heart gives out or they end up in one of those like fail videos. Because look, it's $1 billion. It's a billion. That's a lot. And I know it's the lottery, and I'm just making an example. I'm not specifically speaking to everyone to like go run up to the lottery office or something. Like that's not what I'm trying to say. I think that we have let the lottery basically become one of the better ways to get ourselves out of a mess, you know? And it only gets you out of the mess. Maybe you can bring some people along with you. That's nice. That is nice. But you don't know everybody. You know what I mean? Like, you know your friends and your family, and that'd be very sweet for you to take care of your friends and your family, but you don't know everybody, and you don't know everybody's intentions. You don't know what everybody's going to do with the money. You don't even know if giving some of these people the money is the best thing to do. You have no idea. And maybe it's why, speaking outside the lottery now, maybe it's why, like, people shouldn't be able to amass that level of wealth. Not because I want to take from somebody the thing that they have for whatever reason. Maybe they really did earn it. I don't see how, but like maybe they really did earn it. Maybe they deserved every like $50 million bonus that they ever gave themselves, right? Maybe they know their heart and they know that they really deserve this money. But maybe
just
you know,
maybe
they laid off a bunch of people and they bought a bunch of stock back and they did some stuff to do some stuff to get some stuff, you know? And so I'm just saying is, you know, it's one thing when it's a lottery, it's a different thing when it's like our entire, you know, because then they wonder, I don't know. Then they wonder, they're like, why is everybody so mad at us? It's like, oh, you can't not really get it. It seems crazy. And look, don't get me wrong. I'm an American. I would love $1 billion.
Dang.
It's probably part of the problem.
Here's the thing, I wouldn't mind $1 billion. Again, but when it comes to money, no one else will know. It's called keeping your mouth shut. You know, you go on mob style, body the bush. But anyway, I enjoy this one. It's due to the fact that when it comes to money, it does change people, and may not change the person who has the money, but it will change. Also, sometimes it will change the people who's around you, or people you don't even know. So, but W video from Josh Johnson. And if you like this, any of this content, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Like, comment, and subscribe to Josh Johnson. I will leave the original link to the video down below so watch it uninterrupted. Until next time, please take care of yourself, stay hydrated, stay safe, stay warm. Peace out.
And little questions is everything they know about you. No.